All about giving back through the tough times, the good times, no matter what it is. I asked the same question, like what, transpired from 2 weeks ago to now to make it seem like they don't want me in the building. But, I don't know, man. It just sucks.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. One of the best linebackers of the past 5 years has officially made his decision between two NFC East rivals as to what team he wants to sign with. Before we get to the content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we get all that out of the way, break! I haven't proved myself to you at this point, then check this out. On Thursday Night Football, these are all the people that made money by following my prize picks for free on Instagram. I give out my picks for free each and every night, and if you end up tailing me and hit green, I shout you out like this. Right now, when you use my promo code Mikerophone, you could double your deposit up until $100 on prize picks. And thank you, prize picks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? About 2 weeks ago, the Indianapolis Colts and Shaq Leonard made a decision that shocked the entire world of football, where Darius Leonard said, "Indy, I want to thank you for accepting me and my family with open arms. These past 6 years have been nothing but incredible. Through the good times and the bad times, y'all stood by my side. I apologize for not bringing that trophy back to the 317. The energy in Lucas Oil has been nothing but amazing, and I thank you for every memory. I'm thankful to play for such an amazing fan base. I love you guys and wish the Colts nothing but the best." Very shortly after, Jim Irsay announced that the Indianapolis Colts have officially parted ways with a player that was arguably the team's overall best player, at least from 2017 to 2019, saying, "Colts Nation will always remember the Maniac's palpable energy on the field with each tackle, interception, punch out, and fumble recovery. Off the field, he's a servant leader and assisted numerous families in both his hometown and the Indianapolis community. We're thankful for Shaq and the contributions he has made to our organization. We wish him and his beautiful family the best moving forward." This is very shocking and very unfortunate. It really sucks whenever one of the best players on your team regresses so mightily to the point where the team has to release him. And in the case of Shaq Leonard, this happened rather quickly. Leonard burst onto the scene almost immediately as part of a very special 2018 Indianapolis Colts draft class that featured Quentin Nelson in the first round and then Shaq Leonard in the second round. Andrew Luck was still at quarterback. This is probably the last year Frank Reich was happy as a head coach, and within his rookie year, Shaq Leonard was able to establish himself as the best linebacker in the entire NFL. It's undisputed. It's not even a question or a debate at this point. In 2018, Shaq Leonard was considered to be the best linebacker in the NFL. The way I could characterize his disruption as a linebacker is very similar to Micah Parsons when he joined the Dallas Cowboys following the 2021 NFL draft. No one thought he would be this good, but he was. And the beauty of this was that in 2019, Shaq Leonard picked off where he left off. And in 2020 was when you started to see him regress a little bit. But still, this is a man that was putting up 132 combined tackles. And in 2021, he hit his peak, forcing 8 fumbles, recovering 3 of them with 122 combined tackles, and he even defended 8 passes and brought in 4 interceptions. But following this, Shaq Leonard regressed mightily. And this is where people have a difference in opinion on Shaq Leonard. You see, on one hand, the Indianapolis Colts longtime defensive coordinator, who was Shaq Leonard's defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, took a job with the Chicago Bears, and in his place came former Jacksonville Jaguars head coach Gus Bradley to be the defensive coordinator. So according to Shaq Leonard's perspective, his role diminished consistently, and he even voiced the fact that he was frustrated when Zaire Franklin missed a game. The Indianapolis Colts opted to play undrafted second-year pro Shangan Olubi over Darius Leonard. From Leonard's perspective, he felt like the way the Indianapolis Colts played defense didn't really put him in the best position to succeed, but from the Colts' perspective, they felt like all the injuries finally caught up to Darius Leonard and he just wasn't a good linebacker anymore. And honestly, either side could be true, or even both sides could be true, but there's evidence suggesting that Darius Leonard isn't the same linebacker. I mean, when he faced off against the New England Patriots, Ezekiel Elliott was able to break one of his tackles on a screen pass and was easily able to outrun outrun Darius Leonard, which is kind of sad if you think about it, considering the fact that we're talking about a past his prime Ezekiel Elliott on the worst team in the NFL being able to outrun Darius Leonard on a screen pass even when Darius Leonard made contact with him. The Colts didn't really trust Darius Leonard on third down either. He only played 21 of the Colts 134 third down snaps, so it just made sense for these two to part ways. Now the question at this point is, how good is Darius Leonard? And is he right? Is it the fact that he's playing in a defense that just doesn't suit his abilities, or are the Indianapolis Colts right? Is it because he's injured? Well, regardless, there were two teams that really wanted to sign Darius Leonard. The first being the Dallas Cowboys, who hosted Shaq Leonard for a day, and Jerry Jones had this to say about the meeting. We just have no idea right now. It's a work in progress. We'll see. There hasn't been a lot of back and forth. We had a great visit. We kind of laid everything out for him, our vision for him, and how he could help us win a championship. I think he enjoyed his visit here, but obviously there is more than us involved here, so we'll just have to see. The other team that is very interested in Shaq Leonard's services is none other than the Dallas Cowboys division rival, and the team that is currently the top team in the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Shaq Leonard had a visit with the Dallas Cowboys and left there without any contract at all whatsoever. Typically, if these meetings go well, usually you don't let the free agent out of the building and you make him sign right then and there. But afterward, Shaq Leonard met with the Philadelphia Eagles, and according to Josina Anderson, they have some optimism that Shaq Leonard is coming to Philly. But her understanding is that the Dallas Cowboys have not received any indication of Leonard's decision as of this early afternoon, per sources, while Josina Anderson is traveling. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. If you take a look at how the Dallas Cowboys played and the Philadelphia Eagles played this past week, both teams seemed like they were in desperate need of Shaq Leonard's services. The Dallas Cowboys were able to win a shootout against the Seattle Seahawks. The Cowboys defense is supposed to be their strong suit, and despite this, they were still able to win by 6 points, but there might still be a question of whether or not they could use some additional help, especially in the linebacker department. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Eagles suffered their worst loss of the season versus the San Francisco 49ers, and man, it was glorious. Jokes aside, a lot of people are thinking that Darius Leonard is either looking at this as which team is most likely to make it to the Super Bowl or which team is most likely to give me playing time, while also allowing me to help them win a Super Bowl. In the case of Shaq Leonard, it's very interesting to point out that Dan Quinn and Gus Bradley worked together on the Seattle Seahawks during the Legion of Boom era. So maybe Shaq Leonard is looking at the Cowboys defense thinking that he's going to be placed in a similar situation as he was with Gus Bradley and the Indianapolis Colts. But the thing is, the defense that Dan Quinn runs with the Dallas Cowboys now is significantly different than the defense he ran with the Seattle Seahawks. And well, the decision was definitely not what I was hoping for, because Ian Rappaport says, according to his sources, the Philadelphia Eagles and former Colts All-Pro linebacker Shaq Leonard have agreed to terms on a one-year deal after he took a visit to Philadelphia last week, a potential big addition for the stretch run. Leonard also visited the Cowboys, but Philly was always the preferred spot. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, man. This is a very high upside signing that I wanted my Dallas Cowboys to make, but unfortunately they just weren't able to make it. I've always said that throughout all the Philadelphia Eagles key additions throughout this past offseason, which, by the way, I think Howie Roseman is a wizard at what he does. I think his ability to adjust to his circumstances have been incredible recently. It seems like ever since he moved on from Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson, this man doesn't miss. He loses Javon Hargrave in the offseason to the San Francisco 49ers. Well, he trades up to the top 10 in the NFL draft and selects Jalen Carter. He made a trade for Kevin Byard earlier this season, and it seems like he's consistently reloading. If Shaq Leonard is even 60% of the player that he once was, then this is a home run signing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, that is a huge if, but regardless, the Philadelphia Eagles linebacker unit has always been one of their weakest spots on their entire roster. It's been like this for years. So I'm assuming that may have factored into Shaq Leonard's decision to sign with the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, obviously Hassan Reddick and Nolan Smith are probably going to stay at the Sam position, so I'm assuming that Darius Leonard's either going to take over at the Mike linebacker or the Will linebacker. The opportunities for Darius Leonard on the Philadelphia Eagles may have been a little bit better than the Dallas Cowboys, and that's the unfortunate reality of it. Now, I guess you could have provided an argument that the Cowboys would have had as good of a scenario for Darius Leonard to play in. Both the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles play a 4-3 defense, defense, but I'm assuming he just felt a little bit more confident when it comes to fitting in with the Philadelphia Eagles defense. Now, this Eagles defense, man, I'm not gonna lie, is absolutely terrifying. Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, Darius Slay, James Bradbury, Kevin Byard, Reed Blankenship. It should be really interesting to see how things go down when the Cowboys meet versus the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football. Let me know in the comment section down below. As a Cowboy fan, are you a little heartbroken by Shaq Leonard's decision, or do you think it's a non-factor at the end of the day? If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, do you think this is what you needed to get yourselves over the hump? I think regardless, you got a player that has the potential to be a great coverage linebacker and a great run stopper, but there's a chance he might be a little washed. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.